Coming up on Citrus TV News live at 6.
New York State may be raising its minimum wage.
And a scare at the University of Missouri.
Plus, a new food spot is coming to Destiny, USA. All that and more, Citrus TV News starts now.
From the Citrus TV studios, this is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us this Veterans Day. I'm Caroline Strange.
And I'm Hunter Sines. All of us here at Citrus TV would like to send a special thank you to all of the men and women who have fought and continue to fight for our country. Now let's see what's going on around campus to commemorate the day. That's our top story. Syracuse honors its rich history of supporting veterans every year on this holiday. This year was no different. ROTC students, local veterans, and many others were inside Hendricks Chapel for this year's Veterans Day ceremony. Brigadier General Michael Fantini of the U.S. Air Force was the keynote speaker. He spoke about the importance of public service.
I challenge you to consider putting on some type of uniform. I was in your shoes 30 years ago, and the decision to join the Air Force has been one that has taken me on an incredible journey of service to others and a life of worthy work.
General Fantini is the Director for Middle East Policy at the Pentagon and has more than 3,200 hours of flight experience. His awards include the Bronze Star, among many others. Today's Veteran Day events will conclude with the SU Women's Choir. The group will be performing in the Setner Auditorium at 8 p.m.
Today, Syracuse finds itself on the White House's list of cities that have successfully completed the 2010 National Initiative to Wipe Out Homelessness among veterans. Syracuse joins Las Vegas and Schenectady in achieving this goal. Virginia Governor and Syracuse native Terry McAuliffe plans to announce today that the Commonwealth of Virginia is the first state to completely wipe out veteran homelessness. Back in this city, it's definitely a huge accomplishment for Syracuse, and there's not a better day to celebrate it.
Last year, after reports that 1 in 5 college students are sexually assaulted, the White House launched the It's On Us campaign. As part of its week of action, Vice President Joe Biden is visiting 4 college campuses, making a stop here at his alma mater tomorrow. The event completely sold out within the first day tickets went on sale. The It's On Us program seeks to engage college students in a discussion dealing with the issue of sexual assault on college campuses. Make sure to tune in to Citrus TV News live at 6 tomorrow for full coverage of the event. And if you didn't get a ticket yourself, OTN is live streaming it here on channel 14.1.
And state employees will soon be getting a pay raise. Governor Cuomo says he plans to use executive authority to make the minimum wage $15 for state workers. The increase will impact 10,000 employees and would be phased in by July of 2021 for upstate New York. The change is happening without approval from the state legislature. And coming up next, we'll have a recap of last night's GOP presidential debate.
And the Israeli Prime Minister addresses security concerns. Stay tuned. Citrus TV will be right back.
We saw quite a bit of cloudiness today. Find out when that rain will actually kick in my full weather forecast coming up.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that, you're a job creator.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Well, a number of students are throwing out their razors this month, and as Nick Papantonis tells us, they're doing it not out of laziness, but rather for a good cause.
Late fall leaves many shaving companies shaking in their boots. That's because November comes with the popular trend of not shaving.
A bunch of the guys on the team do it, so I figured may as well.
Well, I'm not the best at growing facial hair, so it's going all right.
No Shave November, or Movember, has men everywhere putting down their razors and letting their beard growing skills shine.
Now, clearly I am not participating in No Shave November this year, but I can still make a donation to a worthy cause.
No Shave November is definitely a growing trend. It's a popular way to raise awareness, and especially coming on the heels of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, where everything is pink and breast cancer focused, that being able to kind of switch gears for a bit and focus on the no shave cause, I think is something that folks really, embrace.
The American Cancer Society is one of 4 organizations that No Shave November supports. The movement started back in 2009 and asked participants to donate what they would have spent shaving to support cancer research. Given that it goes to a good cause, ladies who normally prefer a well-groomed man are able to embrace the hairy face for a few weeks.
I think it's great that the guys do it because it's their personal preference, and it does support a good cause.
What's yours going to look like when the month is over, do you think?
I'm not sure. Might do goatee, might do full beard. We'll see where it takes me.
For Citrus TV News, I'm Nick Papantonis.
Well, I wish I got the memo before coming into work. If you wish to make a donation to No Shave November, you can visit our website at citrustv.net for more information.
The University of Missouri has increased security after racist threats appeared on the anonymous messaging app Yik Yak. Police Captain Brian Weimer says university cops are working with state and local agencies to ensure the campus is secure. The administration is promising changes, and the Board of Curators at the university announced a plan to support diversity through the hiring of faculty and staff. The campus remains safe, and there are no reports of any criminal activity. And a Georgia man is saying police intimidated him into a confession. Timothy Johnson says he pled guilty to murder back in 1984 after police dangled him from his feet over a bridge. Johnson also claims authorities threatened him with the death penalty and said they'd arrest his family if he didn't confess. His life sentence was overturned in 2006, and a new trial in 2013 found him not guilty. Republicans continue to battle it out for the GOP nomination. In last night's debate, Florida Senator Marco Rubio spoke about his policy for a strong national defense as he continues to surge in the polls. A few jabs at the moderators continued last night. Former Florida Governor Jeb Bush sparred with moderators because he felt they were ignoring him in the first 15 minutes. Donald Trump continues to defy political odds. He's still leading in the polls after last night.
In news around the world, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with members of Congress Tuesday as a part of his trip to Washington this week. Netanyahu spoke with leaders about security challenges facing Israel, among other topics. This is an effort to better relations between the U.S. and Israel that were strained by the Iran nuclear deal. The Obama administration is considering increasing the amount of security assistance to Israel. Syria is opposing a Russian plan to end the Syrian civil war, saying they will not hold elections before Bashar al-Assad's term ends. The Russian proposal called for a new constitution within the next 18 months and a presidential election, but the Syrian government says an election will not happen until Assad's current term ends in 6 years. And flight attendants working for Lufthansa are on strike tonight for a 6th straight day. It's all in an effort for the flight attendants union to try and secure retirement benefits for its members. The strike caused more than 900 flights to be grounded today. In total, it has affected more than 300,000 passengers and canceled more than 3,000 flights. A German court rejected Lufthansa's appeal against the walkout late last night. And now let's head over on to Caroline and Lindsay to see what we can expect after the break coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6.
Thanks, Hunter. Coming up, IMI fills you in on all the hot topic news you may be missing.
But first, I'll have the rest of your week's forecast on the other side of the break.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. You get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Well, it was a chilly and wet day out there this afternoon. Lindsay, what can we expect for the rest of the week?
Well, Hunter, we'll see quite a little bit more rain after this week, but right now we're going to talk about today. We saw temperatures in the low to mid 50s. Humidity was up at around 85%, and towards the end of the day we felt some misty rains coming down, which we'll start to see a lot more of tomorrow. Now, as we look at Wednesdays of the past, we can see that we're actually quite on par with our average high for this time of year. We are actually 20 degrees lower than we were a week ago, which is a little sad to see, but it's pretty typical for this time of year to be in the 50s. Now, as we look at current temperatures across the region, we can see that most temperatures for the New York State region were in the low 50s, just like Syracuse. So we're in some good company with Albany and Rochester. So everybody's starting to feel that November chill. Now, as we look at current temperatures across the region, across the nation actually, we can see that there is actually a cold front hitting the northwestern United States with temperatures dipping into the 40s, which is pretty atypical, but that's because of a cold front. And temperatures in the southeastern United States are warm as usual, while temperatures in California are starting to dip back down to reflect on November. Now, as we look at current winds, along with that cold front system I showed before, we can see that wind gusts are starting to get a little bit more powerful in the central United States, which is leading to that much more colder and more chillier temperatures. Now, as we look at surface temperatures across the region, we can see a low pressure system moving across the United States towards the East Coast, and we'll start to feel those effects later this week. As we look closer at the Northeast region, we can see a low pressure system moving through the region, and we'll start to feel the effects of that pressure system later this evening, onto tomorrow, and even onto Friday. Currently, there is no precipitation on the radar, but we have been feeling some mistiness outside, so definitely if you go outside, make sure to have that raincoat because it could get a little drizzly. Tonight's conditions should dip back down into the high 40s, so just make sure if you're going out to have a nice jacket. It'll be mostly cloudy, and again, you could see a slight precipitation, which will reflect tomorrow, but we'll have light showers in the morning and then more heavy downpour later on in the day. Now, unfortunately, this rain will continue on to Friday, so a 75% chance rain tomorrow and then 90% chance on Friday. So we will see rain, but hopefully by this weekend, Saturday will be clear skies with a little cloudiness, and by Sunday we should finally start to see some sunshine, which is always great to see here in Syracuse.
Especially after what's going to be a quite miserable weekend, rainy weekend. Now, Lindsay, before the show in the newsroom, you were telling me about some research that came out that could be good news for us people here in Syracuse.
Well, it's actually great news for us in Syracuse, maybe not so great for the environment, but El Nino is actually showing that temperatures in the southern half of the United States are actually going to be colder and wetter, while up in the northern half of the United States we'll actually be feeling some warm temperatures and maybe not as much snow this winter. So Syracuse might not be the snowiest city for a bit, so hopefully that will remain true.
Yeah, well, that's good news, but when can we expect the snow? We see the rain coming this weekend, but the snow?
Well, this weekend temperatures will dip back into that 30, so we're going to start to approach freezing temperatures. So if it starts to rain, it will start to ice, and we will start to maybe see some ice, but it won't be quite cold enough so that we'll actually see snow. So maybe next week.
Okay, maybe next week. We'll leave it there. Lindsay, thanks so much. And now it's time for something we like to call our ICYMI segment, or our In Case You Missed It segment. Here we bring you the latest health, entertainment, and consumer news. Here's Caroline.
Well, Hunter, millennial women are living at home like it's 1940. A study from Pew Research Center says more than 35% of women between the ages 18 and 34 live with parents or relatives as of 2014. Experts say women are staying at home because they are half as likely to be married as they were in the past and instead are going to college. High living costs and student debt are also causing women to stay at home. And one city that may be seeing fewer millennials and fewer artists is Portland. The city in Oregon has seen a number of evictions and higher rents that are making it less affordable. Experts say the high living expenses are part of a nationwide trend known as a shortage of cities. College grads are seeking out life in the city, but less rentals are available because housing construction is slow due to the recession. Chipotle restaurants across the Pacific Northeast are set to reopen after an E. coli outbreak made 45 people sick. 43 of those restaurants have been closed in Washington and Portland, Oregon area since the end of October. The chain says all stores have been thoroughly cleaned and the ingredients have been replaced. No specific cause of the outbreak has been found. And young women will be shopping for their set of wings after the Victoria's Secret models took to the runway last night for the lingerie store's 20th annual fashion show. Lily Aldridge, Alessandra Ambrosio, Kendall Jenner, and others modeled looks, including a $2 million 18-karat gold bra with 6,500 diamonds. If that doesn't get your attention, Swarovski made a rainbow corset with 90,000 crystals. The show will air on December 8th on CBS. And beer drinkers, listen up. There's going to be a new name in the industry once Anheuser-Busch and SAB Miller figure out what to call themselves. AB InBev announced today they finally reached a final agreement to buy their biggest rival. The deal combines the two biggest brewers, creating a company responsible for about a third of beer drinking worldwide. The deal is reportedly worth $107 billion. And Johnny Rockets is branching out at Destiny USA. The burger chain is reportedly opening a spin-off store called Johnny's Burger Factory next year. The chain says the new store caters to a younger demographic, ditching the current 50s theme of Johnny Rockets diners. Info about where the mall store will open has not yet been released, but definitely looking forward to a new spot to grab a burger here in Syracuse. And the former child actor who was the voice of Charlie Brown has pled guilty to making criminal threats. 59-year-old Peter Robbins is facing more than 4 years in prison for threatening to harm the manager of a trailer park and a California sheriff. Robbins says his threats stem from paranoid schizophrenia and other mental health problems. And that does it for this week's ICYMI segment. If you think we missed something, tweet at us at CitrusTV News and let us know. Here's Lauren with what's coming up in sports.
Coming up in sports, we'll give you the recap on what was a dominant Tuesday night for New York sports and take a look at Syracuse men's soccer's big night in the ACC tournament. All that and more after the break.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they got ants in their pants, they got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
The Knicks are off to a 4-4 start after last night's 111-109 win over the Raptors. Avid Raptors fan Drake may have shed a few tears after last night's finish in Toronto. With about 20 seconds left in the game, Carmelo stepped out of bounds and no whistle. The refs have since acknowledged their mistake in the no call. But the clock wound down with no whistle on the play and with the Knicks on top. Not surprisingly, Melo led all scorers with 25 points and also contributed 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. DeRozan and Lowry dominated the scoring chart for Toronto with 29 and 23 points respectively. The Raptors put up a whopping 60 points in the paint to New York's 34. Next up, Melo and the Knicks head to Charlotte tonight to take on the Hornets. And in other New York news, the Rangers roll on. Lundqvist and the team chalked up a 3-0 win, their 6th consecutive and 11th W of the season, last night against Carolina. With the victory, New York holds on to its spot at the top of the Metropolitan Division. Goals from Fast, Nash, and McDonough led the Blue Shirts, but don't forget about Lundqvist. The New York netminder stayed perfect on the night, saving 33 of 33 shots. Staying on the ice, the Syracuse women's ice hockey team wasn't so dominant last night. Paul Flanagan's squad fell to a 5-1 loss against Clarkson. The Orange lost to the 4th-ranked Golden Knights for its 6th loss of the season. Sophomore defender Megan Quinn recorded Cuse's only goal in the 3rd period of the game. SU stays close to home when it takes on Cornell at the War Memorial on Saturday. The health of the SU football quarterbacks has been a question all season long. CitrusTV's Christian de Guzman looks at the sophomore walk-on who will be tasked to lead the Orange against the #1 team in the nation.
This hit by linebacker James Hearns knocked freshman QB Eric Dungy out of last week's game against Louisville with an upper body injury. With his status still in question, sophomore Zach Mahoney will most likely get his 2nd start of the season against another top 10 team. Clemson is the #1 team in the nation, and Mahoney's first start was against LSU, who are now the #2 team in the nation. But offensive coordinator Tim Lester says that Mahoney is ready for Saturday's game.
Zach's ready to go, and he's fired up. I mean, if he ends up going and getting started, it'll be the #1 team in the country. And last time he started, it was the #2 team in the country. So, he's been getting a ton of reps, more and more as we've gone along. And I know he's fired up about the opportunity. I mean, he started rattled against LSU, and then he calmed down and played. So I think that experience will help him a lot. And still don't want to put him in bad situations, but I know he's excited.
The Orange will attempt to win its first game since September 19th. Syracuse also has to win all of its remaining games to become bowl eligible. Christian Guzman, Citrus TV.
There's nothing like postseason soccer with a hint of revenge. Number 7 Syracuse takes on number 3 Clemson tonight in South Carolina for the ACC semifinals. It's a rematch of their thrilling regular season match that ended in a 1-0 win for Clemson on a breakaway goal in the last minute of play. The Orange comes in as the lowest seed in the semis after topping NC State in the first round and then beating powerhouse UNC in a tight penalty kick shootout. The team says they're ready to show what they've got.
If you look at numbers, yes, but I think the way a lot of teams take us, they don't think we're underdogs. You know, we came into the game, we said North Carolina doesn't want to play us. Clemson's not going to want to play us just because of how we play. We high press. We're a hard-working team. So, you know, people may look at the numbers and think so, but as a team, I don't think so, no.
For the team and for myself personally, the ending of that game was, it was tough, and I've been waiting for a moment to redeem myself.
Now, Lauren, they did lose to Clemson already, the men's soccer team, but after beating UNC, how do you think they'll do tonight?
Well, when I spoke to the guys earlier this week, they seem really fired up. They really want this. It was a heartbreaking loss, last minute of the game. I think they're ready to go and ready to show everyone in the ACC that they're a top team.
Well, we'll be rooting for them. Lauren, thank you so much. What will you be wearing to class tomorrow? Lindsay has the answer.
Plus, a historic wall isn't sticking around much longer.
And if you can't get enough of Citrus TV, well, we're on OTN until 8 p.m. Stay tuned for On the Bench, Syracuse Unpeeled, y Noticias. We'll be right back.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
All right, Lindsay, what should we be wearing tomorrow?
Well, it's going to be really rainy, so make sure you're wearing your rain boots, have that raincoat, because it's going to be a wet one.
All right, thank you so much, Lindsay. Well, the famous gum wall outside of Pike Place Market in Seattle won't be sticking around for much longer.
That's right. Over the course of the next few days, a crew will be melting gum off the famous wall. Tourists and locals alike have been sticking their chewed gum on the wall for the last 20 years. In fact, it is estimated that there is 2,200 pounds of gum left on the wall.
Market officials say the wall attracts rats, a major health concern for the market and neighboring movie theater. But they expect people will be sticking their gum back on the wall soon.
Yeah, after 20 years, you just can't expect them to just stop sticking it after they take it away, right?
Hopefully not too much more, though.
That's right. Well, for us for now, that's our broadcast on this Wednesday night. I'm Hunter Sines.
And I'm Caroline Strange. From all of us here at Citrus TV News, have a great night, Syracuse.